Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down the big stories. Today, we're diving into the high-stakes chess match being played by the giants of AI. Okay, so the AI race is absolutely on fire right now, and the biggest players are starting to switch up their game plans. It's not just about who can build the smartest model anymore. The real fight now is over the foundations, the chips, the business models, and the new markets.
So, you gotta ask, right? With everything moving this fast, what are these giants actually betting on for the future? If you look closely at their latest moves, you can start to see the different paths they're carving out to try and win this thing.
So here's how we're going to break it down. We'll look at Google's interesting play on ads, Meta's big shift in their chip strategy, and what OpenAI is cooking up. Then we'll pull it all together. All right, first up, Google. They're making a pretty bold and very public statement about ads in their AI assistant Gemini, and it's definitely turning some heads. And check this out. It's a total split in how they're thinking. You've got OpenAI actively exploring ads for ChatGPT, but then Google comes out and draws a line in the sand saying, nope, no plans for ads in Gemini. That's a huge difference, and you can bet it's a very deliberate one. And Google isn't being shy about it. I mean, you have DeepMind CEO Demis Hassabis basically taking a shot at OpenAI. He's implying that maybe OpenAI is feeling the pressure to make money, while Google can afford to wait. The message is pretty clear, right? But this whole thing is a bit of a strategic dance. If you just rewind a few months, the word on the street was that Gemini was getting ads. Now it's a hard no. So it really looks like they're using this ad-free promise as a competitive weapon, at least for now.
So what's Google's official line on all this? Well, they're trying to separate search and Gemini. They're saying search is for discovering things, which makes sense for ads. Gemini, they claim, is for creating things. Of course, even they admit that line's getting super blurry, especially as they're adding more AI shopping tools right into search.
Okay, so while Google's playing chess with user experience, Meta is making a massive move on a totally different part of the board. The actual hardware. We're talking about a huge pivot on their chip strategy. For a while now, Meta's been wrestling with this classic billion-dollar question. Do we keep trying to build our own custom AI chips from scratch, or do we just go out and buy what we need from the pros? Well, they've made their decision. It looks like Meta is pumping the brakes on building their own chips. And why? Simple. They need an insane amount of computing power, and they need it like yesterday. So they're choosing speed over self-sufficiency, placing huge orders with companies like AMD to get what they need right now. And this isn't just about Meta, This tells you a lot about the whole industry. The hunger for AI power is just skyrocketing so fast that even a giant like Meta can't build it all in-house. It's a huge sign that you have to partner up just to keep pace in this race. All right, last but definitely not least, let's talk about OpenAI. The company that really kicked off this whole new wave. Well, they are not sitting still, not by a long shot. They're pushing into brand new territory. And they're basically launching a two-pronged attack. On one side, they're going hard after the big money enterprise software market. And on the other, a little more mysteriously, they're getting into consumer hardware. That enterprise push, it's all about a massive new partnership with ServiceNow. And this isn't just about selling software. No, they are weaving their AI right into the fabric of how big companies work. Seriously, imagine AI agents just handling your IT tickets or pulling data from some ancient mainframe in the basement. Yeah, their COO basically said it all. Companies want OpenAI smarts right inside the programs they're already using every single day. It's a brilliant move to make themselves indispensable. Okay, but then there's that second front, the hardware. What is it? We don't really know. OpenAI is working on their first physical device, and they are being incredibly tight-lipped about the whole thing. And you can tell they're being super careful with their words. An executive kinda sorta hinted we might see something later this year. But then he immediately walked it back. So what's the real story? Something's coming, for sure, but they're keeping the details locked down tight. Okay, so we've looked at Google's ad strategy, Meta's chip pivot, and OpenAI's expansion plans. Let's zoom out for a second. What does this all add up to? When you put it all on the table, you can see each company is placing a totally different bet. Google's using its massive cash reserves to play the long game on how to make money. Meta's being super practical about its infrastructure, basically saying, let's just buy the power we need now. And OpenAI, they're just going for broke, trying to expand into software and hardware at the very same time. So you have to remember, none of this is happening by accident. These are all calculated, high-stakes moves in this massive game for the future of AI. Each one of these giants is betting billions that their way is the right way. The only question now is, whose bet is going to pay off?